Okay, hi, welcome to the Awakening Podcast. My name is Katie, and this is episode 9, where I want to talk about rewriting your story / belief system / identity, all while staying very much grounded in your reality. So something I want to make clear before I even get into this whole thought process, there's something very important with understanding the power of your mind is staying grounded in your reality. So that's what I want to get a little bit more into, being grounded and also understanding a lot of subconscious stories that you have about yourself. Start at the beginning of this thought process here. So every human being has a big story about their life, from when they're born to this very second. You could sit down and talk about your whole life as a story, like a book. And that is all within your mind. Your mind is what controls your memories, your perspective, your emotions, all within past experiences. And something I want to expand your mind on just before I get a little bit more into this is that the only thing that exists is this current moment. The past doesn't exist and the future doesn't exist. It exists within your mind. The only thing that exists is this current moment. So, something really important is rewiring the past. And I want to word this very carefully so that you can rewire your perspective and your emotions within past negative experiences while staying very grounded and not being delusional. So looking at your own personal life story, you can think of negative experiences that have impacted you, whatever experience happened. That is something that you carried in your subconscious energy, and life mirrored that energy back to you, and it keeps manifesting until you fix it, become aware of it, and rewire it. So to give a couple of examples here, when I was in therapy, I learned a lot of weird belief systems I had about myself that I wasn't even aware of on a conscious level. So a really big one for me in my personal story up until this point was that I was not lovable. So, or worthy of good, big love. So that stemmed from experiences I experienced between ages 0 to 7. And between those ages is when your subconscious mind absorbs everything. So that is when a lot of who you are stems from. I learned a lot of belief systems I had. So that being a really big one for me was something I had to get over, and I successfully did get over that. But another big belief system I had was how money works and how relationships work and how reality works. And I just want to expand your mind here for a little bit here. So understanding that the only thing that exists is this current moment. The past doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist. It just exists like right now. What you can touch, what you can smell, like with your physical senses, this is all that exists. So understanding that your mind is what creates your everything, your perspective, emotions, memories, whatever it is, it creates everything. So taking a negative experience, so to my example of not being lovable, that was a big thing in my life. I experienced until I had to learn to rewire it. So you have to think of the very first memory that you had that gave you this emotion, this belief system, this story, I am not lovable, for this example, or whatever yours is. And you have to think of that very first memory. After that, there's this meditation work called shadow work. And you can go do more research on it if you are into really rewiring your subconscious mind for big issues in your life. This is something I had to use a few times when it came to not being lovable, having that weird story I had going on. So basically, just to put it into a little short story here, shadow work is when you go into meditation before you fall asleep, whatever, and you think of a negative experience, a negative emotion, not being lovable, and think of that first memory. You watch that first memory in first person point of view, looking through your own eyes in this vision. Try your best to come up with more details, make the visualization as detailed as possible, feel the emotions, feel it all again, feel this whole negative situation going on. And it can be really tough to visualize something you don't want to think about, but after you visualize it in first person point of view, I want you to visualize it again a second time in third person point of view, as if you're watching your younger self go through this experience. And after you play through the whole scenario again, from third person point of view, it's almost like time traveling in your mind. So you would go up to your younger self and fix the situation. So your younger self didn't feel this low vibration belief system, which is, in this example, not lovable. So you'd go up to your younger self, say whatever you need to say to heal your younger self so that they are not affected and that energy does not continue out throughout your life. So that's a quick example of what shadow work is, and that is a really strong thing to start the process of rewiring really deep belief systems that you have. So belief systems / stories can come from literally everything, and this can be on a really subconscious level as well. So if you're somebody who always is broke, always like negative money, or like just really tight on money all the time, and you have been for years, or whatever the case is, you have a really strong belief system in your subconscious mind that you are not aware of. And on a conscious level, you're like, well, yeah, I like money. Like, I want money. I want more money. So I'm not pushing away money or whatever it is. But on a subconscious level, if you're always broke in your physical reality, it's because your subconscious mind has a belief system that you need to fix. So this could really be anything, but to give examples, if you're somebody who works full-time minimum wage, and after your paychecks you feel like you don't have a lot of money left or whatever, you probably have this some sort of story that is saying you need to work physically hard in order to get paychecks. You need to give your time to a job that you don't really like, and you don't want to spend your time on earth doing, but you're doing it for the money, or whatever the case is. That's a story that you need to be aware of and that you need to rewire. So something important is being grounded in your new story as well. So using money as an example, having a previous mindset, being aware of it, that money is hard to come by. Money is a physical thing that I need to work physically hard, really, really hard to get, and all this stuff. And then changing it over to a mindset that is now, belief system that is now, money is being printed all the time. Money flows to me easily. Money circulates all the time. I don't need to work that hard for money. I can have multiple sources of income. I can, like the list can go on and on and on. And having this new mindset. And the middle groundwork between the old mindset and the new mindset is being grounded in reality. So being grounded in reality, this is important because you don't want to cross that line of being delusional. So looking at your physical reality, where you're currently at right now. I'm not saying quit your minimum wage job, go sit home and wait for money to show up on your doorstep. That would be more of a delusional mindset, sitting at home waiting for money to show up on your doorstep. But maybe having a mindset where, okay, well, I'm at this minimum wage job right now. That's where I'm at right now. Okay, so now what? What do I want in my career? Where do I want to get? How much money do I want to make? And coming up with more of a realistic plan from what you can, and allowing your higher self to do the process for you and orchestrate everything it needs to orchestrate together in order for you to create that manifestation. It's very important for you to be specific. So if you make full-time minimum wage, you make like $2,000 a month, and you want to make $5,000 a month. So maybe I don't know how it's going to happen for you. It could be unlimited amount of options. It could be you have your minimum wage job and you have side income. It could be fully side income. It could be a new job that's double or triple or whatever the amount per hour so that you make $5,000 a month. You have to have all of your doors open so that your higher self can bring in the opportunity for you. So it's about planting the seed and allowing your higher self to bring it into your physical reality. So those are two examples of stories that you have on a subconscious level that you need to rewire in order to have your physical reality change. So something really important as well is understanding parallel reality shifting. So this is a real theory that I use in my own personal life, and it really drastically changed my life. So understanding, this is all on a quantum physics level here. So if you want to learn a little bit more, please go do more research on quantum physics. It's very interesting stuff. So how reality works, part of how reality works is that every second that you are breathing, you have the power to shift your overall dominant vibration, your identity, your mindset, your belief systems. You have full control over your mental state. So understanding that, I'm going to put it into more of a physical explanation here. So if you take like a film strip on the older cameras and you get the film strip developed and you hold up the film strip and it's like each individual frame, that's what your life is. Each second that you are breathing is an individual frame. So each individual frame, you have the power to change the picture, change the frame, change the vibration. And that's all within you. So with understanding quantum physics and parallel reality shifting, this is where I want to get into a little bit more of the manifesting side. So this can be done any second of any day. You were never stuck, just so you know. And very clear of that. You are never stuck. This can be done anytime, no matter how bad your situation is. When you are aware of these negative belief systems you have, step one, become aware. And this could be, the more you work on yourself, the better. So even if you just did one at a time, that's cool too. Find a negative belief system you have. Be aware of it, is step one. Step two is find the solution. What would be the version of yourself that is fixed from this belief system, that is opposite of this belief system, that is living your dream life or whatever it is. So if you can use your imagination and think of that version of yourself that is cured of this negative belief system, what does that version of you look like, act like, think like? What is that person's work ethic? Get into the mind of that version of yourself. So step one, become aware. Step two, become aware of the identity of yourself that is cured, that is free from this negative story, this negative belief system. And then step three is become it. So understanding that every second that you are breathing, right now, you have the power to change your vibration and your reality. Your quality of life is within you. Internally, you have the power as a spiritual being to be your most happiest self internally. Internally, you need to become that identity of yourself. And carry that vibration around with you. So let's say you want to be a hairdresser and you want to have your own salon, but you look around in your physical reality and you work a minimum wage job and you're like in hairdresser school or whatever the case is, and you're not physically there yet, but you want it so bad. Something really powerful that you do is shift your identity within. So understanding the second step, which is the identity of that version of yourself, and absorbing it completely and carrying that vibration around with you as your day goes on. So even if you're in hairdressing school and you're broke right now or whatever the case is, having the mindset and that all doors are open, you are allowing anything into your life to bring in this physical experience of having your own hair salon or whatever. That is going to get you way farther than your ego self could, because your ego self likes to think that 100% of the planning is on you. That, oh, I have to go to school, I have to intern, I have to get a good job, I have to have a big clientele, or whatever the case is, the big list of stuff that you need to do in order to have your own hair salon. All of that is a story that you're telling yourself, because all for what you know, you don't know the future, it doesn't exist. All for what you know, what if $1 million falls into your lap tomorrow somehow, and you can open up your beauty supply store? Having the options open in your head for literally 0 to 100, anything in the universe that can come into your life in order for you to get your own hair store, that is more important than allowing your ego to take over. Allow your higher self to take over. And just all you need to do as your ego little human self is carry around the vibration of, I own my own hair salon store. I am good at being a hairdresser, or whatever mindset your hairdresser identity would have. This can be applied for anything. Hairdresser is just the first thing I thought of, but bringing that energy into your physical reality is what keeps you grounded. So again, I'm not saying quit your hairdressing school and go home and wait for $1 million to show up. I'm not saying that, because that would be more delusional. I'm saying keep all of your options open and know that any second of any day, you can get your own hair salon, and you don't need to keep telling yourself this story that, oh, I need to go to school. Oh, I need to do this. I need to do this and this and this and this and this. And then at the very end, I can have a hair salon. Like, that's a story that you're telling yourself, and that's exactly what you're going to experience as long as you keep telling yourself that story. Instead, let go of that story and be open and free to whatever the universe wants to bring into your life so that you can have that hair salon store. You know what I'm saying? So be more flexible, because life is very flexible, and life is a physical reality system that we're in. This is a temporary human experience. This is a game. This is a dream. Whatever you want to label, you want to give it, this is not everything. You're a spiritual being having a temporary human experience. Life is very flexible. So just to recap before I end off this video, it's very important to be aware of your negative belief systems that are holding you back or giving you a story that could be affecting your life negatively. Become aware is step 1. Step 2 is find the identity of yourself that no longer has these negative belief systems or no longer has these issues or whatever the case is, that is your perfect dream self for this scenario. And then become that version in your physical reality using your vibration, your mindset, your belief systems, and you'll see life bring in physical experiences that mirror back that energy. Very, very, very important that you stay grounded and don't cross that line of delusional. Stay grounded, stay humble, keep that energy in your heart and radiate that energy out into the world, and be patient. Allow your higher self to orchestrate the manifestation how it needs to come. Let go from your ego self and trust the process, trust the universe, trust your higher self, and rewrite your story. You don't need to look back on your story and have negative perspectives or negative opinions about people. It's something I want to throw in real quick too, because I've had this lesson I've had to learn. So if there's somebody in your life who you view as an enemy or somebody you don't like, somebody wronged you, and you hold some sort of grudge, something very important that I learned is widening your perspective to a point where you can see that all human beings are all one. We all come from one. We all are one. Everybody is a reflection of you in a way. And that person is just experiencing their soul evolvement. And if they hurt you in some sort of way, that's an opportunity for you to see what you need to evolve and grow and fix internally. Everything is a lesson. Everything in life happens for you, not to you. None of this is an accident. And life is very perfectly orchestrated, whether we understand it fully at our human ego capacity or not. Life is very perfectly orchestrated for you to evolve and grow the way you need to. So with that being said, I think I'm going to leave this video off here. I hope you all enjoyed this video, got any sort of good knowledge out of it, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye!